Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a Purple Penny coin video for the week. First Monday of the new year that we've done this. Been having some frustration with the hardware on the video this morning. Played with the video for a while this morning and tweaked the camera settings, and turns out the camera drops all the settings every time you restart the broadcasting software, which is super exciting. And now we've got this lovely flicker as well, so I don't know what to do. My patience is starting to wear thin with all of this, but we shall try and keep trying to try and make it better for you. Right, so this week was the first week of the new year in the shop. We probably didn't have as many people in the shop as what we were expecting, but I think that's probably a hangover from the COVID shenanigans that are going on here in South Australia at the moment. There's a lot of hesitancy about going out too much here because of what's happening. So I think we just experienced a little bit of that. That being said, just about all of our regulars showed their faces. I guess a lot of the people that rang us during the break that we expected to come in didn't come in, but we still had probably one of our busiest weeks, I would say. And it was actually quite nice to be back. So yeah, it was good to be back in the shop. Hello Paul and John, Clay, Brett, Rob, Gwen, Gary, Ash, Michael, Edward Blackwood, and Paul Leonard. So welcome everyone who's watching today. So let's jump onto the news. Paul Leonard, don't mention the RAM release. The first thing on my list here is the RAM release. Of course, on Thursday we had the second, third and fourth coins of the Steam Power 50-cent pieces being released. They were hot as expected. The first release was of course hot, the folder and the coin by itself, but the second, third and fourth coins were very hot, and I strongly believe that was primarily due to people trying to jump on board with it when they realised the first coin was a good one. It is extremely disappointing for people who are trying to put sets together that there are people on social media that have many dozens of the sets and are selling them at double release price. It's disappointing for those collectors who can't get hold of them. I guess it's doubly disappointing for us as well, because we kind of cop the brunt of collectors who can't get their hands on it. And yeah, we've had a few difficult conversations this week with people, and it's not just people that ring us up on the phone, it's also our regulars that perhaps didn't grab hold of the first coin and folder the first time, and we have to disappoint them the second time round. The Mint, I think I'm not supposed to talk about the allocations that we get from the Mint, but the Mint gave us exactly the same allocation for the second, third and fourth coin as what we got for the first coin. So as a consequence, we were very careful to make sure that everyone that bought one off of us the first time got the same the second time. We want everyone to be able to complete those collections. That meant we had none for our website. So we had a list of everyone who got them the first time around, and we contacted them all on release day and told them that we had coins available for them. And as I said to someone on the phone on Thursday, it was like trying to spread too much Vegemite, not enough Vegemite over too much toast. There just wasn't enough coins to go around. I am disappointed for those of you who didn't get those coins. I'm doubly disappointed with people who are selling them for a huge profit that don't pay GST or tax on it. I guess that is part of the free market, but it here at the pointy end of being a RAM distributor, it's not pleasant for us when that sort of stuff happens. So talking about RAM releases that went poorly, and so poorly in fact that the Mint shut their website down, let's jump into the February RAM releases, because the Mint never stops the wheels turning. The first Thursday in February, we'll see all of those releases there, which you can see on the slide. The Tooth Fairy is coming out in a card again. It's available right now as a kit from the Mint, but you can get it as a card on the card, which is available through dealers only. We've got the baby sets this year, the Proof and the Unk sets. All the coins in the baby sets this year have a unique design on them. So those of you who are chasing $2 coins, you'll have to get that baby set to get your hands on that $2 coin design. The Frontline Workers is coming out in a roll. Usual $100 release price for that. Not sure what the release numbers are, but again, that's one of these things that's only available through dealers. Anyone interested in those rolls, please contact us and we'll put your name down and hopefully we'll be able to allocate you one of those rolls. And then we've got 2 anniversary of the Christian Women's Association coins, an aluminium bronze and a selectively gold plated silver version. They're actually not bad looking coins. The subject material is a bit neither here nor there, but they're actually not bad looking designs. So that's all the releases for next month. We may have all of those available on our website on release day. We'll just have to see what our allocations are. We don't know what they are at the moment, so we'll just have to see about those. As always, if you are interested in getting your hands on those, do contact us and we'll put you on our interest list. So that's the February releases. Now, I thought what I'd do is just talk about a couple of things that happened in the shop once in the week before Christmas, and the other was last week, and I guess these are both of them were a bit scary. Now, if you're watching last week, you would have seen the 2012 Red Poppy rolls that we bought just before Christmas. Well, in that same collection was another Red Poppy roll in inverted commas, and the roll was wrapped in the RAM paper that you found 2014 green Dove Remembrance coins in. So that sort of raised some flags with us straight away, because of course the Red Poppy roll was a Chubb security roll, not an official RAM roll. As a consequence, we put that roll to one side when we were purchasing that collection. We told the gentleman what we thought, and we opened up that roll in front of him, and it was full of Red Poppy coins, but they were all taken off of the RSL cards. They were all coins that had been glued to RSL cards, and they all had glue residue on them. I don't know what that gentleman paid for that roll, but it just shows you that no matter what you're doing, you always need to have your eyes open when you're looking at these things, and have some product knowledge and understand what it is that you're looking at. Red Poppy rolls should only be in green Chubb paper, or occasionally inside out Chubb paper, which is brown. Certainly not in officially printed RAM paper, which this one was. That gentleman's had that roll for several years, so this bodging up of rolls was going on quite a while ago, before I think Red Poppy rolls really hit their straps. The other thing that happened this week was a very large $2 coin collection that came in that the gentleman wanted to quit, and unfortunately he had taken a large percentage of the coins out of their packaging. So we're talking 2018 anniversary $2 coin sets, we're talking silver proofs out of the silver sets, we're talking Red Poppy C mint marks out of PNCs, we're talking green Dove C mint marks, all sorts of different coins. He'd taken them out of the original packaging and he'd popped them into third-party capsules that have those sort of white coloured discs around them. As a consequence, many of the coins were fingerprinted and many of them had toned. Those capsules are not safe, or the liners are not safe. So, while I can appreciate when people want to get a uniform look to their collection, perhaps put all the coins in folders or put them all in the same capsules, and they want that uniform look, effectively that person lost probably a third of the value of his collection because it was all, a lot of it was impaired, and there's nothing that we can really do to recover that. So just be aware, if you are collecting modern mint product, do think about keeping it in the packaging if possible. Keep the packaging in the best condition that you can keep it in. And that's really just to maximise resale value down the track somewhere. Now, if you don't care about that, then package it, hold it up however you like, make it look however you like. It is just a hobby after all, but there's just a bit of advice there, having seen a not so good collection come in that had been treated poorly. Right, so let's just have a look at a couple more hellos. Hello Kimmy, Scott, Glenn, Al. It's good to see you a couple times last week, Al. Mike Ellery, Tassie Coin Hunter, Susie, Carolyn, Ogie, and Wendy. Hello everyone, thanks for joining in today. So the point there is, do you take packaging coins out of packaging or not? If it was me, I wouldn't. It's just, it doesn't necessarily make it better. Coins in the news this week. Channel 7's journalist has been watching TikTok again, watching the coin TikToker from Western Australia, and he did quite a good video on the 2012 Red Poppy coin. The news article is accurate, so well done to that TikToker over in Western Australia and the Channel 7 journalist for actually approximating accuracy in their article. So it's good to see some coins in the news. And just this last thing here, which I thought was interesting, was that the US Mint sold 1.25 million ounces of gold coins in 2021, which is a lot of gold coins. And given that gold hasn't really performed very well in the last 12 months, it's interesting that so many gold coins were sold by the US Mint. It would be interesting to know what gold weight the Australian Mint sold last year. It'd be interesting to know that and be able to compare the size of the US market to the Australian market. Wendy is saying that guardhouse sleeves are awesome to store carded coin stuff in. Yep, I agree, Wendy. Guardhouse sleeves are okay if you can find polypropylene pages to put them in, or polyethylene pages. We put lots of things in polyethylene bags. All that stuff is quite safe to put things in. I think where this gentleman went wrong is he actually popped the coins out of the mini capsules and capsules that they were in and put them into other capsules. He wasn't using too much care, i.e. gloves, when he was pulling those coins out, so as a consequence there were fingerprints on them, and the capsules themselves were not safe. They had toned the coins, which is disappointing. David says journalist can be a loose term. Yes, I agree when it comes to coins, David, that's for sure. Right. So story of the week was that we had Robert, a coin noodler from Central Victoria, pop into the shop last week with his wife. They've just come over to Adelaide for a holiday and they happened to pop in here, and I was actually amazed to see them come in here because Robert about 3 weeks ago was noodling a jumbo bag of 5-cent pieces and found 4 upset 1966 5-cent pieces in the jumbo bag, and I saw that video when he posted it up to the Gravy Train. Shout out to the Gravy Train people who are watching. I was very envious when I saw those 4 upset 5-cent pieces from 1966 because I've known of their existence for a while. I've seen a picture of one and I've always wanted one to go along with our upset 1966 10-cent pieces that we had in our collection. Anyway, Robert, the coin noodler who popped in with his wife, actually brought all 4 upset 1966 5-cent pieces in with him when he came to visit last week, and he was kind enough to sell us one of those coins. So Catherine and I have one for our collection, which we're super stoked about, and he allowed us to look at the other 3 and examine them quite closely. Now, they were all in quite good condition, so my guess is that they'd been taken out of a money box recently and deposited into the bank. If you examine them, you could actually tell that the obverse die had rotated. So let's just, before we go into too much detail, we'll just bring up the slide here. So this week I thought I'd just cover off on upset decimal errors. So what is an upset error or a rotated die error? It's when a coin is struck by misaligned obverse and reverse dies. So here in Australia, our coins are struck with what's called coin alignment, and that means that when you take a coin and put it in your fingers like this and rotate it around like that, that the head and tail side of the coin are rotated the same way. Compare that with US coins. US coins are struck with, no, I've said all that wrong. Our coins are struck with medal alignment. Medal alignment. Now that means when you put a coin in between your fingers, put the head side the correct way up, rotate it around like that, the tail side will be the right way up. US coins, conversely, are struck with coin alignment. That means that when you pop the coin in your hand like this, head's the right way up, spin it around, the tails will be upside down. Here in Australia, it's pretty easy to tell when a decimal coin has an upset error on it, because when you do that little experiment, popping them in your fingers like this, if the head and tails are not the same way up, then you've got a little upset coin error on your hands. Now, there's a number of decimal upset errors that have been found down through the years, and some of them, the degree of upset, and let's say if I have a coin here and my heads is the right way up, I rotate it around and the tails is rotated by 180 degrees, that would be a 180 degree upset. If it's rotated, perhaps to 9 o'clock, it would be a 270 degree upset. On some of the upset coin errors, the degree of rotation changes. So the classic example of that is the 2001 Centenary of Federation dollar. They're found in all degrees of rotation, which indicates that the dies were moving as the coin was struck. Similarly, the 2001 20-cent piece is found in all degrees of rotation. The 1966 10-cent piece is found in all degrees of rotation. The 1966 5-cent piece is found in all degrees of rotation. Doesn't necessarily have to mean that they're always rotating. For example, the 2010 coat of arms 50-cent piece is only found in 1 degree of rotation. That's one angle of the 50-cent piece. And there are some other sort of rarer upsets that I've seen pictures of over the journey, such as the 2006 5-cent that was found with an upset die, and Alex Birkin, who's a watcher of this video, he's found, he's found 1996 5-cent pieces that are upset, and they're all upset to the same degree. You do see 1996 dollars that are upset, all mostly to the same degree. So you would suggest with those that the dies are not moving as they're struck. So let's just jump to the slideshow here. So we'll just look at this slideshow here. These are upset coin errors. Now, if you think about the way that coins are made, and they're made with dies, and dies are made by actually pushing other dies into them to impress the design into those production dies. So not only when a coin is struck with an upset die can you result in an upset error, but imagine if the coin die, when it's being made, it's actually has the design pressed into it and it's rotated incorrectly, all those coins are going to be upset too. So it's not necessarily a problem with the die in the coin press, it could also be a problem with the die as it's being what's called hubbed. As if you're into a bit of coin noodling, I would be building a list of all of the dates and denominations that are available, have been found upset, and we've listed off 7 or 8 here, and making sure that you do check your change every time one of these passes through your hands. I've found upset Centenary of Federation dollars in my change, and certainly I have heard stories of other people finding upsets in their change as well. So those are upset coin die errors. I think they're a wonderful little error. They don't need any explanation. If you grab the coin, put it in your fingers and rotate it, and the tails is the wrong way up, everyone understands what it is. And I think errors that are easy to understand are easily the most collectible and most desirable errors. So that's upset coin errors. We'll just have a look at some questions here. Susie says, what do you think of the 1988 silver proof $2 coin? Will it go up in value? Well, Susie, it's kind of had a couple of runs. I think the mintage is about, let's just grab the book over here. I think the mintage is about 80,000 or thereabouts. Let's have a look. So it's not a hard coin to find in terms of the mintages, and there's always plenty of them around. So 45,000, 1988. So they did have a run up to $100 or so in the last couple of years, and they've come back down to 40 or 50. Now, do I think they're going to go up again? There's no reason why they would, because they are always available, unless there's going to be some hype around them. I think that some of the silver proof $2 from the middle 2000s out of the fine silver proof sets, they're much harder to find, and the mintages of those sets are much smaller, and it kind of baffles me that you can get $1,900 for a Mars $2 coin out of a planetary set when the mintage is 10,000 or something, whereas some of those masterpieces in silver sets from 2014 and 2015, they've got silver $2 coins and have mintages in the low hundreds. Much scarcer coins. Perhaps they're not coloured, I don't understand. Anyway, that's my thought on silver proof coins. Hello, Greg. David Trotter says, hasn't a collector created a clock with the 2001 $1 coins with 12 coins at 30-degree rotations? Yeah, so that's right, David. It's called a clock face of upsets. There's been a couple of collectors I've seen putting those together. There are some degrees of rotation that are harder to find than others, and I don't know what they are. You'd need to probably speak to, say, Peter Andrews, or there's a collector in Melbourne called Bruce Mansfield who have a better idea of what those harder ones are. But yeah, there are people who have put together clock faces, and they sell for pretty good money. I've seen them sell for almost $1,000, which is probably 2 or 3 times what the individual coins themselves sell for. John says his double header was found in change in Ayunk. Yeah, that's a fabulous find, John. Right, that's it for this week. Hopefully next week we'll get the camera flickering issue sorted out. Thanks everyone for joining in today. Safe and happy collecting. As I said earlier in the video, if you're interested in any of the new releases from the Mint, just contact us via message or phone or carrier pigeon, smoke signal, whatever it is that you prefer, and we'll stick your name on our list, and hopefully we'll better allocate you some product. Thank you everyone for watching. Happy collecting. Stay safe in these crazy times. Bye for now.